We all experience a bad night of sleep every once in a while, and that's completely normal. But how can we improve both the quantity and quality of our sleep? In this video, I will give you 11 scientifically proven tips for better sleep. I'm Kayo, I'm a certified nutritionist and health coach, and I have gone through so many interviews with sleep experts, listened to countless podcasts, read the books on the science of how to get effective sleep, and will use my personal experience that has helped me personally and my clients to give you the best tips today. So let's jump in. Tip number 1. It might sound counterintuitive, but a good night's sleep actually begins in the morning when you wake up. The key is actually getting sunlight into your eyes as soon as possible after waking up. Exposing yourself to natural light early in the morning actually helps setting your circadian rhythm, which is your internal 24-hour clock that governs your sleep and wake cycle. Sunlight also kickstarts the release of cortisol and epinephrine, hormones that make you feel awake and alert. But the reason why it really helps you sleep at night is because by triggering your biological clock, it's essentially setting a timer for melatonin release later in the evening, which is crucial for sleep. So while some people take it as a supplement, you can boost your natural melatonin production just by spending some time outside in the morning. And that melatonin release takes about 12 to 14 hours to reach its peak. So the earlier we're getting that sunlight exposure, the sooner that clock starts counting down. And then the sooner we start feeling sleepy in the evening. And if you don't give yourself that morning sunlight, your biological clock can get delayed, making it harder to fall asleep at night. So make it a habit to step outside and soak up that morning sunlight within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking up. And according to research, 10 to 15 minutes tend to be enough on sunny days, while on cloudy days you would need 20 to 40 minutes. But if that's not possible, because you live in an area with not a lot of sunshine, for example, or during the winter months, a red light therapy lamp or a full spectrum light can be a good substitute. Number 2, daily exercise is a game changer for your sleep. Research shows that regular exercise, particularly aerobic activity, can help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and have more deep and restorative sleep. The way it works is that exercise increases your body core temperature and boosts your endorphin levels, making you feel more alert and awake during the day. But then after that workout, your body temperature naturally drops, which helps promote sleep later in the evening. Plus, you're actually going to be sleeping much better because your body is craving that recovery time. But remember, timing also matters. Morning or early afternoon workouts are actually ideal for aligning your sleep-wake cycle, whereas exercising too close to your bedtime can actually keep you wired. Number 3 is to manage your caffeine and alcohol consumption. To understand how caffeine works, I want you to know that adenosine is the molecule responsible for building up sleep pressure throughout the day, aka making us sleepy as bedtime approaches. Now, caffeine doesn't actually make us sleepy. All it does is blocking those adenosine receptors in your brain, preventing that feeling of sleepiness. But here's the caveat. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours, meaning if you drink a coffee at 4 p.m., half of it could still be in your system by the time it reaches 10 p.m. But it takes even longer than that after drinking caffeine for our adenosine to be working normally again. So to avoid disrupting your sleep with caffeine, Dr. Huberman recommends avoiding caffeine around 8 to 10 hours before bedtime, while Dr. Matthew Walker, who's a neuroscientist and the author of the book Why We Sleep, recommends to aim for more like 10 to 12 hours even. So that means stop drinking coffee between 1 and 3 p.m. if your bedtime is 11 p.m. Alcohol, on the other hand, may make you feel sleepy initially, but it actually interferes with your REM sleep, which is the most restorative sleep phase. So while you might pass out quickly after you had a drink, you're more likely to wake up again during the night and have more fragmented sleep. It will also prevent your body from reaching deeper stages of sleep, which are essential for recovery. Number 4, so just as morning sunshine is essential for waking up, evening sunlight actually helps signaling your brain that it's time to wind down. So exposure to that more warm, low angle light that happens around sunset will strengthen your timing of your circadian rhythm. And just as in the morning, try to be in direct sunlight if at all possible, because windows or any other kinds of barriers, like sunglasses for example, make the sunlight a lot less effective. So if you get the sunlight in the morning and in the evening, you will give your internal clock consistent light anchors, making it way easier to get into a healthy rhythm of waking up and going to sleep at the same time every day. And in the evening, that should be around 1 to 2 hours before sunset for around 10 to 30 minutes. Number 5, the human brain has a very strong preference towards consistency and routine, which is why going to bed, falling asleep and waking up at the same time every day is one of the best ways to improve your sleep quality overall. The reason this works is due to something called sleep homeostasis. So throughout the day, the chemical adenosine, which we've already talked about, gradually builds up in the brain. So the longer you're awake, the more adenosine will will accumulate, making you feel increasingly tired as the day goes on. And when you sleep, the adenosine levels drop and you'll wake up feeling refreshed. Now, if you go to bed and wake up at different times every single day, your brain gets confused and this natural process will get completely disrupted. On the flip side, if you maintain a regular sleep schedule, the adenosine levels will peak regularly at the same time every single evening, making us feel properly tired and just ready for bed. Number 6, I want you to think of your bedtime routine as something like landing a plane. It should be slow and smooth rather than like an instant crash. So in the hour before bed, or at least 20 minutes before going to sleep, your goal is to help your nervous system to shift from that fight and flight mode of the day into the rest and digest mode of the night. And one of the best things you can do for that is to avoid screens in that last hour before bed. Some research actually suggests that blue light emitted from your devices can mess with your natural sleep-wake pattern and cycle, making you more alert, which is great in the morning, but not so much in the evening. Having said that, there is actually a study from the Harvard group where participants used a Kindle on its brightest setting just before going to bed, and it actually only delayed sleep by 10 minutes. So honestly, that's your call if it helps you or not. Personally, I feel much better if I do use my blue light blocking glasses and just avoid screens in general, because it won't give me a headache and I feel like my eyes are less dry and so on. I will also dim my lights and generally just avoid any bright lights after 8 p.m. Also, switching to night mode on your phones and laptops, lowering the brightness, and using warm, low lighting in the evening help signal your brain that it's time to wind down and get ready for bed. The science behind using low floor lighting instead of overhead lighting in the evening is because the receptors in your eyes that detect light are actually located right here underneath your eyes, which means overhead lighting shining right onto this area is particularly stimulating, which can trick your brain into thinking that it's still daytime, making it obviously harder to fall asleep. On top of that, ditching your devices will also be beneficial because you turn off that stimulation that you will get from receiving messages or that notifications or scrolling on social media and so on. So instead, what you should be doing is creating a wind down routine that will help your body relax. So for example, you could read, you could listen to calming music, or do some gentle stretches, anything really that creates a calming environment and will signal your body that it's time to relax and sleep. Next up is your sleep environment plays a huge role in how well you sleep. First, let's talk about temperature. Research shows that a cooler room around 18 degrees Celsius or 65 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal for sleep because it mimics that natural drop in your core body temperature that occurs when you fall asleep. So when your body cools down, it sends a signal to your brain that it's time to rest. But if your room is too warm, it can obviously prevent that drop in temperature, making it harder to fall asleep, but also to stay asleep for longer. And another thing is to make your room as dark as possible. Darkness actually triggers the release of melatonin, helping you fall asleep more easily, as we already discussed earlier. So what you can use is using blackout curtains or even an eye mask to really block out any kind of light coming in. Studies have actually shown that even the smallest amount of light, of ambient light, or when you go to the bathroom at night, or any kind of light source can actually disturb your sleep cycles. Then I also want to talk about sleep frequencies because they are absolutely amazing in helping you fall asleep. Sleep frequencies or sleep hypnosis works so well because your brain is transitioning from delta to theta, alpha, beta, and then gamma waves, and vice versa during waking up and then going to sleep respectively. So sleep frequencies, including binaural beats, can actually help regulate those brain waves and therefore improve sleep. So for instance, 528 Hertz can really help reduce stress, while 432 Hertz boosts calming alpha waves. And delta and theta binaural beats are actually really great for the deep REM sleep. So yeah, listening to those kinds of sounds can really help your brain transition and fall asleep faster. The coolest thing is that here on YouTube, there's actually some tracks that transition from theta into delta, mimicking your brain's natural sleep stages, which can be such an amazing tool for people struggling to fall asleep. Now, this next tip I swear by. It's super simple, but use your bed just for sleep and sex. This will train your brain to associate the bed with just relaxation, rest, and nothing else. So if you frequently use your bed for work, watching TV, eating food even, your brain will associate your bed with these activities, making it so much harder falling asleep once you get into it at night. And I used to live in an 8 square meter room in London while going to university, where I literally did everything from cooking to cleaning to doing my uni work to sometimes even working out in it, so that obviously my sleep quality was completely messed up. So trust me, I understand that it's not always possible, but if you do have the space available, then please avoid doing any kind of work, eating, watching TV, or doing anything else other than sleeping in your bedroom. If after all these tips you're still struggling to fall asleep, you can consider adding some sleep promoting supplements like magnesium, ashwagandha, or melatonin. Magnesium is a natural relaxant that will help your nervous system to calm down and also reduce muscle tension. Plus, it also regulates the production of melatonin. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen and is known for its abilities to lower cortisol and help the body to adapt to stress, making it much easier to relax just before bed. And lastly, melatonin supplements can be effective for people that are struggling with irregular sleep patterns, such as shift workers, frequent travelers. However, it's really best to only use melatonin if really necessary, because overusing it can really disrupt your body's natural production of melatonin. But remember, always talk to your doctor first before starting any supplement regimes. My last tip is meditation, because daily meditation has really been a true game changer for my sleep. It trains your brain to relax and also just let go of any racing thoughts, which will make falling asleep at night so much easier. However, you want to be avoiding any kind of mindfulness meditations at night, because they can actually increase blood flow through the prefrontal cortex and therefore increase concentration, which obviously is a great thing during the day or even in the morning, but it's not really helping at night when you want to wind down. So please be my guest and do the mindfulness meditations in the morning or throughout the day, because it's honestly perfect for that. But at night, you want to go for more like relaxing and sleep-specific meditations to help you really ease into sleep. To make it easier, I have summarized it all. So if you are following my 11 science-backed tips, your day might include the following. Feel free to screenshot this. And remember, if you are dealing with sleep disorders like insomnia or sleep apnea, these tips might not be enough for you. So if you think you have a sleep issue, it's really best to talk to your doctor for proper treatment. And if you enjoyed this video, my evidence-based morning routine will also be for you. And if you learned something new, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.